Namaste, hello, welcome everyone. So we have a moment or two before we begin. And in that time, let's have available to us all of the props that we need. Blanket to line your mat so that it feels more comfortable. So I always advise having one blanket for placing on the mat underneath you and another blanket to use as a cover or a pillow for your head. Your bolsters or equivalents, that could be large pillows, rolled up comforter tied up, large cushions, cushion seats off the sofa will do just as well, and some large books or perhaps a low footstool to help bring the earth up if we want to place our bolster on top of something that's at an angle. So let's come into our comfortable seat. Ground down through the sit bones. I'm sitting on a block, and you may also sit on a cushion or a folded blanket to help lift your seat. Lengthen through your spine. Let's roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then slide them down and away. Palms face up, thumb and index touching in Gyan Mudra. Lengthen your neck, lifting your crown towards the sky so that your chin is parallel to the earth. Shoulders relaxing down and away. A sense of openness at the heart. We're working with the element of metal as part of our 5 elements theory series. And the element of metal is associated with the season of autumn, of letting go, of yielding to the changing season. Begin to observe your breath. Notice how your breath yields as it flows in and out of your body. How the breath will flow and ebb at different pace, at different rhythm, at different depth. That as your body needs more breath, it draws in more. When it needs less breath, it draws in less. It yields to how you're feeling, responding to your body's needs, to your emotional needs. It also helps to help manage and regulate the emotions by slowing the breath, by manipulating and controlling the breath, directing the breath. We can help our body enter into a state of relaxation, meditation. This sense of letting go, of yielding, of softening, becoming vulnerable and surrendering is a quality that we are invoking with our practice today. Breath by breath, let go. Breath by breath, release. Breath by breath, yield. Breath by breath, surrender. Breath by breath, let go of all that no longer serves. Breath by breath, release that which does not in your interest. Breath by breath, surrender to the state of beingness, of ease. Notice how your breath has already begun to change, to yield to this moment. This ability to be adaptable, flexible. Inhaling, bring your hands together at your heart center in Namaskar. Opening our practice by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale fully to prepare. Om. Inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Hands to your eyebrow center. Namaste and welcome, yogis, to our practice today. So we're going to start our practice by Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breath. This will help bring our body into a state of balance, and then we'll move into our tapping and straight into our practice. So let's bring your dominant hand, whether the left or right, and fold into peace fingers. Extend the thumb, ring a little finger, and then bring your hand in front of your face. Your other hand can be thumb and index touching, and let's have it face down in Chin Mudra. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Covering the right nostril, inhale through the left. Cover the left, uncover the right, release the breath through the right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Cover the right, release the left nostril, exhale left. Inhale left. Cover the left, uncover the right, exhale right. Inhale right. Cover the right, release the left, exhale left. Inhale left. Cover the left, uncover the right, exhale right. Final round, inhale right. Cover the right, exhale left. Release the hands. Return to your natural breath by taking a full breath in and a full breath out. Take a moment here. We're going to start with tapping, and we'll start with hand and face tapping, and then we'll do our lung and large intestine meridians, which connect to the element of metal. So using your dominant hand to start with, let's start tapping on the side of the other hand, this area here known as the karate chop, and tapping here. And begin to think about what it is you wish to release. May I let go? And then name whatever it is that you are releasing. Those emotions, thoughts, relationships that are challenging, perhaps no longer welcome, no longer helpful. Just naming it. May I let go of anger, perhaps. One more there. Let's go to the other hand. Tap again on the karate chop there. And repeat that first sentence. May I let go of anger, sadness, a friendship, a work situation, an anxiety about myself, whatever it is. This is a season, the element to release. Now let's move to our eyebrows. So here I advise 2 fingers to tap. So let's start at the inside of the eyebrow here, just at the top of your nose. So where the end of your eyebrow, where your eyebrow ends. So starting on one side and then the other eyebrow. And again, now move on to something else that you wish to release. May I let go. And the second thing that you wish to let go of, these do not need to be significant, big things that you're releasing. It could be small, irritating things, small, annoying habits. Now let's move to the outside corner of the eye. And now let's choose something else we wish to release. Maybe I let go of the irritating work colleague. May I let go of the annoying neighbors. Now move to the other side, and again repeating that same sentiment, emotion, feeling, thought, pattern that you wish to let go of. Now from here, we're going to move under the eye. And always reminds me of The Handmaid's Tale. Tapping here under one eye. So I think this is always a good time to let go of patriarchy and its influences and suppressions and oppressions of this male-centered world that we inhabit. Moving to the other eye. And from here, we're going to move to under the nose. So the soft part under the nose. Now moving on to another thing that you wish to let go of. May I let go of the pain of my childhood. May I let go of the troubling relationships. May I let go of my insecurities. Now under the chin, so on the chin, underneath the lower lips, just where that soft part is again, above the chin and below the lower lip. And again, repeating that which you wish to release, let go. One more here. And now let's move to the collarbone. So here I like to tap both collarbones at the same time with all fingers, all 4 fingers of each hand. And I tend to work up and down along the collarbone here. One more here. May I let go. And now we're going to move underneath the armpit. Let's start on one side, and you know here often when we connect to the armpit is the heart meridian and the pericardium. So this is where you might want to let go of an old love that you're hanging on to and willing to release. Perhaps a separation that you experienced or a loss. Let's go to the other armpit. May I let go of a heartbreak. May I let go of the pain of losing a loved one. Let's come to the thymus here, so at the breastbone. And again, I like to tap with both my hands here. May I let go of suffering. May I let go of anxiety, low self-esteem, low confidence. And finally, let's go to the wrist. So you can use 2 fingers or 4 fingers here inside of the wrist. And then the other wrist. May I let go. May I release. May I surrender. May I discharge. And Let's finish off with the karate chop just for completion on both hands. May I be free. May I be free. May I be free. And then releasing your hands. Beautiful. Now, just before we move into our first pose, let's do our lung and large intestine meridian, which runs along our arm. So the yin meridian is the lung meridian. So let's start at the large thumb. The thumb. I don't know why I call it the large thumb. Let's just start at the thumb and work all our way up the inside of our arm, the inside of our elbow. So the lung meridian connects to grief. And often when we let go or release attachments, we can feel a sense of grief at their loss. Often something that has been with us for a long time, even when it's negative and does not serve us, we can become attached to it. It becomes a way of life for us. Up to the top of the shoulder. And now let's go down the outside of the arm. So this is the large intestine, and this connects to sadness. And again, that's an emotion that we can cling to. It is hard to let go of sadness, because once we lose sadness, we might feel guilt that we are no longer sad about something or someone. All the way down the outside of the arm for the large intestine. And we're going to go to the index finger for this. So again, this practice is about letting go. Let's move to the other hand. So starting at the thumb, your absolutely perfectly normal sized thumb, and work all the way up the inside of the arm. And again, thinking about that it's okay to let go of grief. There comes a time when it is right for us to let go. And know it may still be present, but that it doesn't control us, doesn't decide how we move through life. Now the inside of, outside of the arm for the large intestine. All the way to the index finger. There we go. Let's just shake our arms out. Let's move into our first asana. So we're going to move into butterfly. And we're going to do a forward folding butterfly. So bring the soles of your feet together. Your options are with or without props. If you're doing without props, I invite you to bring your hands together and place your hands on top of your feet and fold forward. Or if you wish you have a bit more space, you can place your hands on the earth and fold forward. If that feels too far away, this is where you can use your bolster or your pillow, and you can place your hands on your pillow. You place your forearms on your pillow or bolster. So your props are available to bring the earth up towards you. And when we practice this butterfly, we don't often bring our hands into prayer. And I'm inviting you to bring your hands into prayer today in a sign that letting go and releasing is often a mechanism of prayer. We pray to release the difficult emotions, to help us cope with difficulties, to help us manage challenges by praying to whatever it is we believe in. Whether it's we believe in a divine source, whether we believe in nature being the principle that guides us, whether we believe in God, whether we believe in faith-based system, or whether we're agnostics. We may simply believe in the sense of our humanity as being, and our morality being the guide through life. And this gives us an added source of support. If you're resting your hands on a bolster, you can always try and move it and see if you created a little bit more space. If your hands are on the earth, perhaps try and move them a little bit more forward. So you can probably feel that having your hands in prayer, you can feel the extension along your arms. Because when working with these upper body meridians, the element of metal has the quality of a transition. Metal can be transformed. It can be changed. It has a quality of strength and resilience, yet at the same time, it also has a sense of giving, of release. When metal is warmed up, it heals. It softens, it can be molded into a new shape. One more breath here. And forward fold butterfly. Lift your gaze and bring your hands back towards your heart center. Take a moment here, and we're directly going to move into a reclined butterfly. And for this, I invite you to use your pillows and create the sort of angle we often like to create. Now, if you don't have bricks, which you probably don't, you can always place a blanket or several cushions that can lift your bolster at one end. And you can stack as many things as you like there so that it's higher or lower depending on what you want to experience. And then bring your sit bones to the base of the bolster. Keep the soles of your feet together. And then with helping hands, let's lower onto the bolster. Have your arms away from your body. Now, if your neck feels uncomfortable, you might need to create a little pillow for your head. So I'll use my shawl for that purpose. And if your hip flexors begin to feel tired, you can always place the soles of your feet on the earth. And if your body temperature is dropping and you're feeling cool, you can cover your body with a blanket here. And remember, large pillows will serve exactly the same function as a bolster. The element of metal is bound up with this notion of grief, depletion, depression, this inability to let go. And we work with this element to mold it, to reshape it, so that we invite in more balance. We can transform these negative thoughts, feelings, patterns, behaviors, and transition into a sense of justice through the letting go, so that we experience a sense of internal justice. Those scales become more balanced. Often when we feel anger, frustration, disappointment, it can become attached to blame, self-blame or blame of others. In finding justice, we let go of blame. We focus more on accountability and responsibility. We'll be here for 10 more breaths. So make sure that you are comfortable, that you are warm. With each breath, let go. Connect with this concept of breath by breath. I let go. I release. Just as with each gust of wind, the trees shed their leaves. One more full breath here. Signal to your body that you are about to transition. Placing your palms on the earth, roll over onto one side. Rest there for a moment. And then with helping hand, let's rise up. And from here, we're going to move into a wide-legged child's pose. So turn and face your pillows, because we're going to rest on our cushion or pillows or bolster that we have. Big toes touching. Then bring that pillow in so that you can use the full length of it to rest your head and abdomen on. So place the top of your head on your bolster, placing your hands on top of each other to act as a cushion, and then soften and relax here. You can also place your hands on the earth if you wish. Child's pose is the ultimate pose in letting go. It helps us to ignite a sense of security, kicks off the parasympathetic system, the rest and digest mode that our body drops into. And if you have children or grandchildren, you'll know that they often, when they fall to sleep, like to fall asleep with their bums up in the air and in something that looks very much like this shape. Or when they're distressed and having a tantrum, you'll often find them lying on the floor in this way. It's a way of self-regulating, self-soothing. Children know this instinctively, intuitively. So this process of letting go is a labor. It can be challenging to let go. Just as you work metal, it requires effort. Metal needs to be heated up at high temperatures and then hammered and bent into shape. It's not an easy process of working the metal. Even discovering the metal ore and refining the metal so that it becomes a shiny, usable material requires work, effort. So it's important to rest in between so that you don't break. We know that overworking metal will damage it. One more breath here. Inhale to lift your gaze, coming back up. I'm going to move directly into melting heart pose. So you can work with your pillow and bolster, or you can come directly onto the earth. I'll demo with the bolster first. So let's take our knees back. Come onto our knees and place our hands on the earth. We want to place the bolster or pillow, if we do, underneath our armpits so that our chest is resting on the bolster. And here you can either just rest your head so it sort of hangs down towards the earth, you hold it up, Or this is where you can, again, create a little mini raised area so that you can rest your eyebrow center on raised blankets, cushions, arms reaching forward. So here I'm completely supported under my eyebrow center and my heart space. So this is option one. Take your time to create what you need. An alternative option is without your props. Resting your eyebrow center directly on the earth. Reach forward with your arms. You'll feel the extension underneath your armpits. Soften here. This pose welcomes that softening. Engage here with a sense of ease, the ease of being. And perhaps in this pose, you can experience that sense of yielding, of giving way. Let's have 10 more breaths here in melting heart. We're going to move with care and mindfulness out of this pose. So I invite you to fold in one arm and then the other arm. And then melt your sit bones back towards your feet. Take your arms alongside your body, palms face up. Coming back into a child's pose on the earth. We're going to move into a twist from here. Maintaining child's pose. Just check out how your knees are feeling. We've been on our knees for a while. Maybe if you need to pad your knees, place your blanket underneath your knees. You have some padding there. Perhaps you place a rolled up blanket underneath the insides of your ankles. So let's take our knees wide, big toes to touch again. And we're going to move our right arm underneath us and come to rest on our right ear and shoulder, left arm reaching forward. You can bring your sit bones all the way back to your feet if you wish. Or you can have a little bit of a space between your sit bones. If you have some space, something that's quite nice to do is to place a cushion between your feet and your sit bones. Thinking about the qualities of metal when it's been worked, when it has been cleaned, polished, refined, how it shines, the brilliance at its core, how it can reflect and mirror. How it becomes eye-catching. This sense of when you let go of all of the aspects that no longer suit or work or serve you, and you return back to your core self and discharge and release. Then you allow the brilliance of yourself to shine through. One more breath here with this twist to the right. Inhale, unwrap your right arm from underneath you, and let's thread our left arm underneath our body, bringing our left ear and shoulder to the mat. Right arm is extended, left arm folded and extended underneath our body. You can feel this at your shoulder. So here we know this is where the lung and large intestine meridians pass. The lung meridian helps us to appreciate ourselves, to connect us to the spiritual aspects, the divine aspects that we believe in or have faith in where we do. So we'll either see that brilliance within us, that brilliance in others, the brilliance in the divine. This is the source of self-esteem. It's the ability to be able to recognize the brilliance within. The large intestine is what is the mechanism for letting go, releasing. Making sure that we make way for the new by ridding the old. One more breath here in this twist to the left. Inhale, lift. Release your left arm. Bring your hands up towards your body. We're going to move from here into dragonfly pose. So I have my blanket already here, so I'm going to use my blanket to sit on. And I'm going to extend my legs out to the sides. So this is one option, simply extending your legs. Some of us might have more space, some of us might have less space. If your knees are lifted off the ground, you can always place cushions underneath both knees. Cushion. Now you always need a lot of props for yin. So you can have your cushions or pillows underneath your knees. And lengthen here. We'll sit in dragonfly for a moment and then we'll move into a lateral stretch. So if today's practice makes you feel a little sad, you have a sense of longing that you feel, or grief or isolation. We're bringing these to the surface. We're acknowledging them in order to let go. This is a process. So thinking about what's happening in nature in the autumn season, and know that his process as being is parallel within you. We move with the cycles and rhythms of nature. I'm going to move into a lateral stretch here, and your options are depending on how much. I've got a bolster, so you can rest your right elbow on your right leg, and this might feel enough. You can take your left arm overhead. Now, some of us will all be in different places here. We really will. So some of us might have so much space we can reach all the way over to our toes. Some of us may not. We have our bolster or large pillow or low footstool. We can also place our elbow on there. And again, reach over. Or if reaching over feels too much, we can rest our hand on our left leg. So find the place that feels good for you, feels sustainable for you. So you can reach over and take hold of your right wrist. Keep that left elbow lifted if it's over your head. This pose for me is particularly challenging. I feel very open and exposed and vulnerable in this pose. I know this is a process of letting go. For me, this is one of my most challenging poses. Brings up insecurity for me. Breath by breath, I let go. I let go of insecurities. Breath by breath, I let go of fear. Breath by breath, I let go of low self-esteem. Breath by breath, I let go of limitations. And I can sense each time that I repeat this, I feel warmth in my body, heat rising. And in my mind's eye, I visualize this as the heat working on the metal, on the inflexible, hardened, toughened metal to help it become more yielding. Breath by breath, I yield. One more breath here. I'm going to move in the other direction. So releasing the left arm from overhead, coming back to center slowly. And then let's move our bolster and pillow to the other side if we're using that. And again, we can bring our left elbow to our left leg. We can keep the right hand on our right leg. We can reach up and over, perhaps towards our toes. Or perhaps we rest our elbow on a bolster or pillow. Reach overhead, perhaps take hold of our left wrist with that right elbow lifting. If this begins to feel too intense in your hip flexors, you can always bring your feet in a little bit. Maybe add even more cushions underneath your knees so that you have a bit more support under your knees. And this will de-intensify the experience in your hip flexors. The large intestine is for elimination. the lungs for respiration. So we let go with the large intestine and we inhale ease, state of being, a state of yield with the lung meridian. So they work in partnership. Three more breaths here. And then when you're ready, removing your pillows, placing your hands underneath your knees when you're back in center. And then a helping hand, bring the legs in, the feet together, and let's hug here. Rest your eyebrow center on the tops of your knees. And this will act to counter balance dragonfly. One more breath here. We're now going to move into caterpillar. So you're already nicely set up for caterpillar. Options, extend your legs long. Another option is, I prefer to use this bolster here. This is not. So I prefer to have a bolster or a pillow underneath my knees for caterpillar. When you have set up your legs how you want them, either extended on the earth or knees supported by a bolster or large pillow, lengthen and then exhale to fold forward. Your hands can be resting on the earth, holding your legs, holding your feet, or together in prayer. The real secret of letting go is that it's an allowing, a being, a non-attachment. And now let's begin to yield to the emotions we wish to invite and cultivate. What shape do we want to mold the metal element into? What is it you want to replace with what? Peace, calm, acceptance, welcome, openness, confidence, courage. May I be full of courage. May I move with ease through life. Caterpillar again is one of these poses that takes us into a state of ease, of relaxation, of rest and digest. Helps to transform the body's experience from a state of tension, hyper-arousal, hyper-vigilance, to a state of relaxation, acceptance, safety. Let's have 3 more breaths here in caterpillar. Draw the energy in that you wish to cultivate during this dormant phase that we are moving into. Inhale to lift your gaze and walk your hands back towards your body. Placing your feet flat on the earth. Let's come down to the earth and we're going to move into a supported bridge pose. So you can use your pillow or bolster here. So once you're on the earth, inhale to lift your hips and pelvis and bring your pillow or bolster or cushions underneath your sacrum area. So essentially you want the middle of your tailbone to be in the middle of the bolster or cushions or pillows, so that the heaviest part of you is supported on your cushions, folded blankets. You do not need to be very high up. You could be quite low to the earth. Arms extended alongside your body. Chin tucked into your throat. Eyes can be softly gazed here. And now you'll notice here there's a sense of openness. This is the place in which we invite in, welcome, accept. Working with the lung meridian here. Giving the lungs lots of space. So as we move through this season towards winter, that phase of dormancy, when we replenish, nourish, feed all the qualities that we want to start the spring with. Maybe you wish to start a new project. Now's the time to start thinking about your planning, the foundations of what you need to organize, how you might need to organize your thinking, your life, your relationships, so that when you are ready, you can move into this phase of change. One more breath here in supported bridge. Lifting up your hips and pelvis, let's roll the bolster underneath our knees and away. I'm going to move into a twist to one side and then the other. You have the option of placing your pillow or bolster along the left side of your body, so that when you twist your knees, the legs can rest on it. Or you can bring your legs directly to the earth. Let's cross our right leg over the left. Hug them in. And then let's release our knees over to the left. So you can have them resting very comfortably on your pillows. or you can have them heading down towards the earth. Maintain a connection between your right shoulder and the earth. And I invite you to lift your arms overhead. Above your crown. You can have a bend in your elbows, or your arms can be more extended. If you begin to lose feeling or have a sensation of pins and needles, then lower your arms to be alongside your body. Closing your eyes, breath by breath, inviting, welcoming, accepting. One more breath here. Bringing your arms down alongside you, let's bring our legs to center, uncross them. And with minimal fuss, if you are using a pillow or a bolster, move it over to the right side. Cross the left leg over the right, as if you're crossing your knees. Then bring your knees in towards you, and then release them over to the right to rest on your bolster or pillows. And again, taking your arms overhead. Keeping your gaze to center, softly closing your eyes. Breath by breath, softening, surrendering. Breath by breath, let go. Breath by breath, invite in. One more full breath here. Bring your arms down alongside you, inhaling knees to center. Uncross your legs. And then extend your legs into Shavasana. I invite you to rest here in Shavasana for at least 5 minutes, covering yourself with a blanket, an eye pillow. Breath by breath, let go of fear, expectations, anger, regret, cravings, frustration, fatigue, sadness, grief. Let go of the need for approval. Let go of all judgments and opinions. Let go and fly free. soar in the freedom of desirelessness, soar in the freedom of allowing, of being. I will leave you to stay in Shavasana. And when you do rise, move slowly and close your practice by chanting Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Dhanyavad yogis. Have a restful time.